Hello. Today, we're going to do a full analysis of two tools. On one side, Akiflow, on the other side, Routine. But first, full disclosure, I am working at Routine, so I will try to be as impartial as possible, but keep that in mind in case you have a doubt. But really, I'm going to try to dig deeper into each area to show the strengths of every tool. And usually it's not about which tool is the best, it's more which tool is the best for you. So do leave a comment in the comment section if you disagree or if I leave out something. Also keep in mind that both tools are still evolving quite a lot. So by the time you watch this video, maybe a feature has been developed that was not present at the time of the recording. Okay, let's go. So as a quick overview, if you don't want to go through the full video, Akiflow is a great planner. That means that it combines tasks and calendars. Great for setting up your routines or rituals, which is you want to set up like a regular way to work from managing your time, but also your tasks. So it's a great tool for that. It supports many providers for your calendars, but also many integration with tasks, and present on many platforms as well. So great tool for that, but obviously it doesn't go beyond. So if you want to take some notes, for instance, or manage your contacts, maybe your habits or something like this, then it might fall short. So you might have to use another tool on the side as well. But that's really dependent on what you are looking for. Routine, on the other side, looks at first exactly like Akiflow, which is a planner because it does manage tasks and calendars. But it has been designed to manage more. You can manage your notes, your contacts, your habits, your movies, or whatever you really want through the extensibility of the tool. So it really has been designed more as a one tool to manage your life more than just tasks and calendars. But again, it's really dependent on what you are looking for. So first, let's talk about capturing information. Akiflow provides a quick hotkey capture, which by default is Command E, that allows to very quickly remember something to do. It could be call mother, you just do that, and you press enter, and it falls into your inbox. Now, this console also allows to use natural language to go even faster. So it could be something like call Bobby, and then you can see at the bottom all the kind of symbol that you can use to assign more information to the task. So it could be, I want it to last for 30 minutes. I want the priority to be medium. Then I would like it to belong to the project administrative, and maybe even assign a tag. And you can also plan, such as today. If you do that and you press enter, the task becomes here called Bobby, and you can see that it's for today, 30 minutes in the admin project with the tag work. So it really allows to go very fast because you can capture all of your information. It lands in the inbox by default, but if you do want to assign more information to it, you can very quickly through the symbols or natural language. Routine has a very similar functionality that is called the dashboard. So it has a hotkey which is Control Space by default, but you can change it, and when you press to open it, you will see that it features the same things, which are a console in the center, but also on the left-hand side, the task of the day, and on the right-hand side, the events to come. The console allows pretty much the same thing with natural language, which is call Bobby, you can assign a label, a priority, and you can also plan very easily, like in 9 days or even today. So really the same aspect. You can see the task lands here because you have planned it for today. But if you were to do something simpler, like call mom, you just do that and the task lands in the inbox. Now, routine also features a specific plugin called contextual capture, which allows, depending on where you are, to also capture the context, which is what you are currently doing. So say you are browsing LinkedIn, you open the dashboard, and it will recognize where you are. And so you could say, just capture this for today, and you can see that you can either create and plan the task for today without the context or with the context. So if I select the second one, it will save with the information to go back to the context. The same is true for an email, for instance. Say you are here and you could just do that, say just for today, and you plan, you capture and plan, and then you could just archive the email because you don't really need it anymore. Because now in the agenda, because I've planned it for today, you can see that the email is here and I can go back by just clicking the button. Same for this one with LinkedIn. So really this kind of enhances your task with more information to give it more meaning. So when it comes to capturing, both tools have the exact same approach, which is to minimize context switching by allowing you anywhere on your desktop through a single hotkey to bring up a console with natural language capabilities and just capture information. Now the functionalities differ slightly. Routine allows to create also notes and events, while Akiflow has a bit more attributes attached to tasks, but overall it is fairly similar. When it comes to task management, Akiflow has a lot of functionalities. As we saw with the capture, you can assign a date, so we can plan basically, you can assign a duration as well, which allows when you block time, as we will see, to already know how much time to block time for. You can add links, a description, assign to a project like administrative, also use tags if you want to, and then priorities as well, which is, priorities would be here, high. And then you can even assign a deadline, which is different from when you want to work on the task. So it really has a lot of information to help you plan and basically achieve your goals. Another thing that it allows you to do is to obviously drag and drop, which is one of the very strong suit of Akiflow. You can drag and drop in your calendar. It's going to take the default duration. So say this task is actually for maybe 2 hours. If you drag and drop, 2 hours will be allocated in your calendar, which is great if you want to pre-assign the time it takes for your task before drag and dropping in your calendar. In addition to blocking time, which is something that obviously is very useful when you manage calendar and tasks, because you can have those kind of interconnect and interact. You can also create other things like slots. So slots would be usually for specific activities. The most common one is probably to say deep work. And you could also repeat it. If you were to repeat, let's say, every weekday, and then you just save, you can see that every weekday you have time to deep work. Now, why is this important? Is because then you can take a task and you can drop it inside a slot to basically signify that during that time you are supposed to work on the task that you have selected. And you can also add tasks there. So it's basically a mechanism to better organize your time and help you again achieve your goals, which is really the whole purpose of Akiflow. For your task, I didn't mention it, but you can also make them repeat, which is great if you want to create your own routines. And I think that basically covers it. You have other screens like upcoming to see the task, but more in a kind of Kanban view for the upcoming days or weeks or month. And the all task lists all of your tasks, always with a calendar on the side, which you can decide to hide if you want to, which we will cover very soon. Routine has similar functionalities to Akiflow, displayed differently or achieved differently, but in the end, it is very close. Routine doesn't have as many fields. For instance, doesn't have the concept of due date or even project, as we will see very soon. But you can achieve those very easily because routine is very extensible. So when it comes to the task management aspect directly, you can do pretty much the same. If you open a task, you can see that you can assign labels as we saw with the capture, priorities as well. You can replan your task very easily here, either by using natural language, you could say tomorrow, or by picking a date very easily here. You can also drag and drop in your calendar. For instance, like this, you could say, I want to block time. You cannot set a duration for your task, so you will have to adjust after dropping in your calendar. But you can also drag and press the Alt or Option button to duplicate basically an allocation, which is great in particular if you want to work on a task maybe, I don't know, several days in a row, let's say here, and maybe the day after, you would like to also spend 1 hour and a half or 1 hour to work on the same task. That's possible. Those are called allocations, which is time blocked in your calendar related to a task. Know that those are also synchronized with your calendar provider like Google Calendar, but nobody will see the detail of the task. They will just know that you are busy and that's it. So that no meeting should be scheduled during that time in theory, but they don't know for what reason. You can also, when you drop, press the tab button to circle through all of your calendars to basically decide in which calendar you want to block time. Now, as we saw with Akiflow, you can have very easily dedicated sessions like deep work, for instance. You can actually achieve something very similar in routine. So let me maybe remove this. And let's say we're gonna just put that here. You could just do the same, let's say, by saying so we are Saturday, and I want every day like a deep work session. Even you could say, I want to add like target icon. And you could say, I want to repeat this every work day. Do that, and you will have the equivalent, which is started next week, every work day. I created it on Saturday. That's the reason why it started on Monday. Now, once you have that, if you go to Monday and you have, let's say, a task, let's say, called accountant, we can achieve the same thing by drag and dropping inside an event. So it doesn't have to be a slot like it is in Akiflow. In routine, you can really drop a task in anything. Could be in a meeting, could be in those specific sessions, or it could be even within another task. So if I drop it here and I go to the deep work session, you will see the task as well. So it's really as simple to achieve those sessions. The only difference is that it is not a dedicated functionality. It's more of a systematic approach, which is every event or every task can have subtasks. And that's because the note editor in routine is a lot more powerful, but this is something that we will cover very soon. You could also do /task to add another one called lawyer. If you do this, likewise, the task will belong to the deep work session, except that it hasn't been planned for a specific day, so it will not show up in your agenda. And you can see the tasks now belong to some sessions, and you can click to go there. That's basically it for task management. So you can do many things. Some we will cover in other sections. but I'd say fairly similar to Akiflow, even though, again, different approach. For task management, I say same thing. Both tools have very similar capabilities. Again, different approaches sometimes, but overall, you have something that really resembles the classic planning, time blocking, creating slots. Even though, again, the approach might differ, the end result for the user is really the same. Akiflow's calendaring capabilities are extremely strong. You can basically do everything a modern calendar like Google Calendar allows, but even more and across your providers. So let's start with the display. You can select how many days, the density of your events, and other capabilities very easily here. Or use the shortcuts like 3, 4, 5 to decide how many days to display. You can also decide to hide the left pane with the task, for instance, pressing 0. That allows to really see your complete calendar and maybe plan a meeting. For planning meetings, you have all the possibilities. You can repeat, you can make it all day, select the conference call service to use, invite people, select the calendar, and define the busyness and visibility. So really everything is supported for planning meetings. Finally, and that's probably the most important thing, you have the ability to connect many calendars, but also from different providers, as you can see here. In short, it allows to aggregate everything related to time through a single app. So that's really the strongest suit when it comes to Akiflow. Other functionalities related to time which are really enjoyed is the ability to create, to pin the collaborators so that you have quick access to their calendars so that you see when they are available for planning a meeting. And you also have something that now is become quite common in Google Calendar and other tools and has been pioneered by Calendly, is the ability to share your availability so that very easily you can send a link and someone will have the ability to use that link to book a meeting. So all in all, Akiflow allows to do everything related to calendar across your providers. So when it comes to calendaring in routine, it's on one side very similar because you can basically do everything you would do in a modern calendar, but it has some major differences. So let's look at the commonalities. On one side, you have a full-fledged calendar with events from different calendars, from different providers. That's the same thing. Note, though, that routine as of April 2026 doesn't support Outlook yet. So if you go to settings and then integrations and calendars, you will see that Outlook is still being developed. Now, when it comes to the day-to-day, you can still do the same, which is schedule a meeting. You can pick the start day, all day location, active or busy, etc. Invite people. That's really similar to what Akiflow provides. The major differences are that on the left-hand side, you have the task of the week, which you can hide if you don't want to, but if you were to display them, those are the tasks that you have not decided exactly when to work on. So it's really a concept which is task management, but related to your week. At the bottom, you have the task of each day. So let me close that so that it's a bit more readable. So those are the tasks for each day. In short, it basically means either I don't want to see them, I want a full calendar, or I want to use my calendar also for planning my week. In which case, you can take tasks and reschedule them or even block time in your calendar. So it's really, really easy to manage your task as well. This is usually used on large screen where you can see your task and your events as well. So if you don't want to, you can hide them very much like the left pane and you have a full-fledged calendar. You can change how many days are being displayed. That's fairly common. Now, routine has another specificity. It's the agenda. The agenda is a screen which is dedicated to focusing on today. You can achieve the same thing with Akiflow by switching to one day, but it means that you have to constantly switch between focusing and planning. Routine decided to have a screen dedicated to today. And so what happens is that you're here and you have your task of the day and the events of the day in a timeline manner, which means you cannot have conflicting events. Also, the timeline displays only the events related to you. So if you were to have maybe your manager's calendar or your colleague's calendar, those events would not be displayed here. They would be displayed in the calendar, but not in the agenda. So how do we do that? When you go to settings and calendars, you can define if a calendar is active or passive. Active means it relates to you and your time. Passive means it does not. And that means that all the calendars, passive and active, are displayed in the calendar, but the agenda only displayed the active calendars. So it looks something like this. Let's say I'm here in the weekly. I'm going to take this event, which, as you can see, is grayed. The background is in white. It's not gray as it should be. That's because you can see that it is from the passive calendar. Now, if I go to today, I will not see it. If I go to the calendar, I do see it. That's because, again, it's coming from a passive calendar. So if you want to plan, it's good because maybe it's coming from a colleague or your manager. So you know that this person is not available here. So you might want to plan at another time. But on a daily basis, you don't really care. It's not helping you be super focused on what's happening in your life. That's why we display only the events related to you in the agenda. So as a summary, I'd say that Akiflow is slightly more developed than routine for everything calendars. On one side, it already supports Outlook Calendar. It also has kind of dedicated functionalities that you might like, even though you can also achieve them with routine. With Akiflow, it's really more kind of included in your workflow with the slots, the daily rituals. It also supports sharing your availability and seeing your colleagues' calendars. All of those functionalities are obviously nice to have if you are very much into managing your calendars for all of those aspects. So Akiflow hasn't been designed for note-taking. And the reason is simple. The team has always focused on tasks and calendars. There are ways, though, to take a few notes, but always related to your task and events. You cannot take notes outside of those. Very much like Todoist or Google Calendar or more regular tools like those. So what you can do is in an event, you can type a description, but as you can see, you are very limited in space. You cannot open an event full screen, so it's really hard to give it a real meaning. All you can do is, like Google Calendar, use that small space and a bit of formatting to do that. For your task, it is fairly similar here. However, in your task, you can press the F button, which I don't see here, it's supposed to be this one, to move to the focus mode. And the focus mode gives you a bit more space to take notes on a specific task. So you same thing, you have the same formatting capabilities, like a title, like some bullet points. You have the ability to indent, but if you start typing, you cannot indent anymore. So it has some limitations. It can be annoying if you really want to take notes, but given that Akiflow hasn't been designed for that and just to add a bit of information, I think that's completely fine. So again, the idea is more for you to enrich those tasks and meetings and events with a little bit of information, not for you to take complete notes. Routine, on the other hand, has a really extensive note capability, which can be seen everywhere because routine has a systematic approach, which is every item in routine can be enriched with notes. And in any note, you can add another item. So let me show you what I mean. If you have a task like this one, no matter where it comes from, you can double click and you can press enter to start taking notes. There are some templates, but let's keep simple and start just typing. Then it supports Markdown, which Akiflow doesn't, which again is great for going faster. So you could say title, and then some text, then you can use the / command to really access all the possibilities. So you could add a quote, and then use a call out maybe to say this is an important section, and then you can use the bullet points, and maybe you could say actually I want a numbered, or even I want to use a checklist, which allows to have something more in the lines of regular checkbox you would find in Apple Notes or in Notion without the planning of a task. So great for, let's say, a grocery list. However, as I've mentioned, routine allows to create objects or items inside notes. So what does that mean? It means that you can create anything, like a task, for instance, inside of your notes. So if I do this and I say call John, it looks like a regular checkbox, but as you can see, it's a full-fledged task, which I can plan, let's say for tomorrow, and that's it. Now, if I go back to the agenda and I go to tomorrow, I will see the task and I will see where it comes from, which is the task I was inside just a minute ago. So if I click, I'm being brought back to the original object, so task that is holding the task. If I open the task in question, I see in which place it lives, which is another task. Okay, so you really have this kind of infinite nesting or hierarchy of objects, as we call them at routine. If I go back, now the note editor is exactly the same anywhere. So it's the same in a meeting, I can take notes. It's the same in a person, I can also take notes, and I can also create tasks. So I could actually create reminders for me to say I want to maybe have lunch with Eddie every 6 months, because you could also actually create a task and then you could say I want it to repeat. So you could have a repeating task inside your notes, as you can see here. So it's really good for organizing information, notes, and tasks, so actionable and non-actionable, inside something else because it relates to something, being a person, being an event, being another task. Finally, you have the notes section. And the notes section allows you to create pages, which are the equivalent of, again, Apple Notes or Notion or whatever tool you would have been using before for basically taking notes on any topic of your choice without having those to be living in a task or an event, which is often frustrating because sometimes you just want to remember something which is not related to a task or an event. So that you can do with with pages, sorry. So it could be related to movies, it could be your list of destination for traveling or organizing things related to your family, whatever you want. So for note-taking, there is really no comparison. On one side, Akiflow doesn't allow to take notes. You can take a few notes on your tasks and events, but that's basically it, and it is a bit limited. And it's not that it is flawed, it's just that it hasn't been designed for that. It has been designed for focusing on your task and meetings. Routine, on the other hand, has been designed to limit the context switching. The idea was, let's aggregate everything that you need and that relates to one another in one tool, which is your contacts, your notes, your calendars, and your tasks. That's why you can take notes in pages, which is information that is not actionable and doesn't relate to a task or a meeting. And you can also take extensive notes in your task, your events, your contacts, and pages through an advanced note editor. Akiflow allows to group your tasks by project. So the way it works is that when you click on a task, you can assign all the properties we have already covered, including tags, which is a way to organize your task depending on what they mean. But you also have the ability to assign a project. So if you do something like administrative, then the task now belongs to the administrative project. You can access your projects there, which are grouped by folders. You can create folders to further organize your projects. It could be for your family, it could be for maybe a company you work for, or even clients. If you click there, you will see all the tasks that relate to the project. Now, the great aspect is that no matter where you are, it's always the same overall organization, which is the calendar being displayed there, where you picked your calendar settings, and then a pane here for your tasks. And if you go to all tasks, it's the same thing that changes. If you go to a project, this is only the task of the project. If you go to a tag, those are just the task with the tag in question. So it's really great because it's always the same organization. The final thing is that you can add sections, which I've done here for blocked, which allows you to further organize your task and to give them a bit more meaning or another dimension. But that's basically it. You cannot really do much more than this for your project. You cannot give more information, more meaning to them, but it might very well be enough because, again, it reuses the same mechanism that you have learned so far. Routine doesn't have the notion of project as you would find in Akiflow. The reason is that Routine wants to give you a very simple experience at first, which is task, calendars, notes, and contacts. It does provide the ability to organize through labels, as you can see here, but it doesn't provide more than this. The reason is that everybody is different. And so the idea was, let's provide something super simple at first, and then provide the tools for anybody to extend their workflows depending on how they work. And because everybody works differently, that's why you can shape the experience to fit what you need instead of having something which is kind of constraining. And so the labels I did already mention, so you could use the labels to represent projects and create new ones. So it could be like having here, you would have all the tasks related to a label. You could also use the notes. You could say in a project, as I've done was here, you could create tasks in the notes to represent, as you can see, those are the tasks that are archived, would be the equivalent of sections in Akiflow. You could do something like this. But if you want something a bit more advanced and structured, this would be the way to go. You would need to go to settings and then to types. So basically, Routine has a notion of types, which is basically the list of entities that you manipulate on a daily basis. And when you install Routine, a number of those types are predefined, which is the default nature. For instance, when you install Routine, you already have the concept of calendar, event, page, person, task. As you can see, you can create other one, which is written custom. You can click create and create another entity that you would like to manipulate in Routine. So it could be for tracking the movies that you want to watch, or your customers, or people you would like to hire, or even projects. So that's what I've done. So I'm going to show you. I created a new type named project, which is nothing more than a title, some notes, and a status. And the status is just the different values that a project can be in, which is backlog, in progress, and completed. That's what I picked, but you can change to whatever you want. Once you've done that, you need to extend what a task is for you to give it the ability to belong to a project. By default, it is not the case, but that's what you would need to do here to link a task to a potential project. So if you click Edit, you will see that now I've created a relation, which is a link to project. It might sound complicated, but what it means is that now when you have a task, you can double click it. And in addition to setting a label and a priority, you can now set a project. So I've set it project A here, but I can do that for any task. So here it's project B. And if I take this one, I can set it to project A as well. So what it means is that for every task, you can decide to assign them a project or not. Then what you would need to do is this. You click the new button here and you have access to all of your types, all the type in the system. And what you can do is use the small database icon here to navigate to the database or collection of all of the objects in question. If I click, I see all the projects that I have created in my system. Then I can open a project and I could pin it to say I want to have access to it at all times in my menu. And then you could say I want to visualize something, which is a view. And you could say I want to view my tasks and I want in particular, so those are all the tasks in my system, which is not very useful. But I could say I want to keep only the ones where the project equals project A. If I do that, I've got project management inside Routine because those are the tasks you can see with the priority, and I can change what I want to display for each task. So I could say I want to display, I don't know if it's stored or not, or the labels or whatever. All of those you can display. And all of those relate to project A. Now you might think, okay, but we don't have the sections, for instance. So let's try to do that. Go to settings and types, and then say, I want to edit the task type. And I'm going to add a property of the type. Let's say text. Could be a select as well, but let's say text to give you the ability to create as many sections as possible dynamically. And I'm going to name this a section. Nothing else. I save, I go back, and now I go back to the project, for instance. And now what I can do is that I could say I want to group by section. Now, so far, nothing impressive. But I can take this task, for instance, and say this belongs to the blocked section. If I go back, now I've got sections. Those don't have any sections. This is the blocked section. So it's really easy to achieve the same thing through a very extensible approach. So it really depends on what you want. With Akiflow, you will have something from the get-go that works. With Routine, you have something which is far more extensible because you can give as much meaning as you want to your projects, to your tasks, so that it really matches how you work. So to summarize, two completely different approaches. Akiflow is a lot simpler. From the get-go, you take a task, you put it in a project, it works. You have sections to organize information even more. That's it. Routine has more of a legal aspect to it, which is, even though the original experience is very simple, then if you want to go further, it is for you to define that new experience. And it's great because people have different ways of working, but it can feel a bit intimidating at first. So very extensible, but if you want project, you will have either to pick something from the marketplace or to build it yourself. It is not as straightforward as Akiflow. One setup, however, very extensible because you can give the meaning that you want to what the project is to you or what the task is to you. So let's talk team collaboration now. So Akiflow has the concept of task, of project, and you can see from a calendar's perspective your collaborators. But it doesn't allow you to have projects that are collaborative, meaning that the collaboration aspect is really centered around event management, which is time availability and meetings. But when it comes to task, that is for you and not your team. So again, it might not be a problem. It really just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a tool to help you achieve your goals individually, and you're not looking for something to work with others, that's fine. If, however, you would like to extend this with task management that can be in other teams, then you might feel limited and need to look at other tools. Routine allows for collaboration fairly extensively. What it means is that if you go to settings, you will see that you are part of a personal organization when you start using routine. And you can very easily create other ones, or you can join another one by just being invited. So an organization is nothing more than a group of people working together. For each organization, you can enable integrations. You can define your types, which we've already covered a little bit for project management, but we will probably cover a little bit also when it comes to extensibility. Basically, types are the entities that you want to manipulate. So as a group, you might want to manage tickets or projects or whatever, to define those types, to shape them the way you would like to work, and then you can collaborate on those. And then you can also group or invite people and then group them by workspace. A workspace is a logical entity for managing access control, basically. And so the way it works is that you've got your organization, you have multiple workspaces in it, and then inside that you have multiple databases or types, and you have an hierarchy, as you can see, of objects. So this is the homepage of the Acme organization, and then I've got sub pages because I can create sub objects in the notes, like a sub page. So very easy to collaborate on those, including when it comes to databases. Like for instance, I can create a database of tickets. I've got those tickets. I can visualize them with a view, which I've just done here. Then I can obviously filter, group, sort, or decide which property to see. And I can link them. For instance, each ticket has an epic, and the epic I can navigate to from here. And that's the epic in question. And I'm having another view to display all the tickets that are relate to this epic. So it's really an easy way to organize information and visualize information the way you want, so that you can collaborate easily. All of this with the offline mode, so that you can work and you can edit the same page, for instance, concurrently. It will still work. Everything's fine. It also works with the agenda, so that all of your tasks basically come back in the agenda, so that you can see all your tasks from all of your organizations. You can see your organizations here, because in the menu that you can configure, you can decide which organization and which page or which object basically is pinned to the menu. So the menu is also very customizable, so that you have access to everything from one account, which is, again, something different from tools like Notion or ClickUp, where you have to switch organization and it changes everything. In Routine, all of that is your personal kind of space. It's just that all of the tasks and all the pages are visible in your agenda and notes section. So even if you don't belong to an organization, it will work very well. And as soon as you are invited to an organization, you don't need to switch accounts. You will just see here an organization appear. and you keep using routine as you were using it before. And that's really one of the strong suits of routine, because you can start alone and then join an organization or create an organization, and you just have still one account and everything is neatly organized. So collaboration is really powerful in routine. So again, it really depends on what you're looking for, but if collaboration, working within a team is important to you, Akiflow might be limited, because Akiflow has been designed for you, your task, your calendars. Routine, however, is more extensible. You start with your task, your calendars, your notes, but then you can join an organization, and just like that, magically, you also have tasks coming from those organizations, kind of surfacing and being concentrated and aggregated in your agenda, your calendar, basically your list of tasks, so that you can extend the way you work with other people. Plus, with the custom types and databases, you can really shape collaboration to fit the way you work with your team. And again, it might be different from one team to the next. So that's why every team is customizable through the typing system. So long story short, routine, very extensible and great for working within the team. Akiflow, not so much, which again, might be very fine if that's not what you're looking for. Akiflow is a very opinionated tool, meaning that it is following a strict methodology. It has some rituals, planning. You can group tasks by projects and apply labels. You have always a calendar on the side, which you can change the layout. And everywhere you go, you have the same layout, which is great for consistency. But then if you want to maybe give another dimension to your work by organizing other type of information, or maybe treating task or project slightly differently from what Akiflow has been designed for, then you might feel a bit constrained. So that's the limitation when it comes to extending Akiflow beyond what it can do. Now, it has advanced functionalities, as I've mentioned, the daily planning. You have some timers, Pomodoro timer, and others to focus. So those are great, but it's not exactly extending the tool. It's more functionalities around task management, planning, and tracking in general. But again, it depends on what you're looking for. Great tool for planning, tasks, and calendars, but not something else, because it hasn't been designed for something else. Routine, on the other hand, has been designed for extensibility, meaning that you start simple with task, notes, contacts, and calendars. That's something that everybody understands. It's very well designed and integrated. But then you can give more meaning or more features to your different elements, tasks, events, etc., by extending them with additional functionalities or properties. So if you go to settings and types, you will see that you can take an event, for instance, and you could say, for every event, I want to be able to attach a customer. If you do this, because you've previously created a customer type here that has just a title and notes, then whenever you have a meeting or an event in general, you have the ability to link it to another thing, like a customer. It will be the same thing with your tasks. We already covered the ability to attach a project to a task to a project, but then maybe you're thinking, well, I want to go a bit further, and I would like to create an objective. An objective, same thing, a title and notes for now. And then you could say, for every project, I would like to be able to link it to an objective, being something that you want to do maybe in your life every year. So it could be a relation, objective that it relates to. Then you pick objective, you're done, you save. And now for all of your projects, you can assign an objective. Let's say get fit or whatever. And then if you open the objective in question, you could say, now I want to visualize all the projects that contribute to that objective. You do this and you filter to say, I want to see all of them where the objective is get fit, which is that one. And then you see project A is the project that I'm working on with the goal of contributing to that objective. Okay, so long story short, very extensible. You can link everything together, including the existing type of data, task, event, calendar, page, and contact. So in terms of extensibility, there is no comparison. On one side, Akiflow has been designed with a very opinionated methodology, whereas routine starts simple and then is very extensible. It's a bit of a strange beast because it's extensible like the tools like Notion or Airtable, but it's so simple to use at first that you don't necessarily see this from the get-go. But in terms of comparison, obviously routine is way more extensible than Akiflow. So Akiflow has one menu bar widget that is very handy. You can see it at the top. If you click it, you see the events of the day or upcoming, the task of the day colored by the project they belong to. But most importantly, the information here, which is the ongoing event, or even more useful in my opinion, when an event is about to start, how much time before it starts. This way, no matter where you are on your desktop, this is always visible and it reminds you that something is coming up. I will talk about two other things which relate to AI, but in my opinion are more into the plugins in the sense of additional functionalities around the main one, which is here in the AI Center, which is sending an email and sending a WhatsApp message. That allows for capturing information super quickly through kind of external channels. Those are very nice additions for people who really like to just send emails very quickly for capturing something. It used to be maybe by them to themselves. Now you can actually send to Aki, which is the AI, or same thing for messaging on WhatsApp. So very, very, very good for, again, helping capture all of your thoughts, no matter where you are. Routine has a number of plugins to extend your experience with additional functionalities. So the plugins are listed here in the settings. The first one is the dashboard, which really comes automatically as soon as you use routine on desktop, macOS, Windows, and Linux. And it looks something like this, which is the overlay for having the task of the day and events to come, and the console in the middle with natural language. Then you have the menu bar widget, which you can see at the very top here. It features the events to come, the task of the day, very much like the dashboard. But in addition, you have a Pomodoro timer and a per task timer, which is quite unique to routine. If I dig deeper into this timer, for instance, I would run it for me to start working on the task in question. And the beauty is that when I stop the timer, the time I've spent would be recorded in my default calendar. If I open it, you will see allocations as one of less than a minute. Now, the beauty is that it allows to really record in your calendar, which is the representation of your time, what you have done and when. Because it is an allocation, nobody can see what this is, because this is marked as busy and private, so your collaborators would not see exactly what this is about. But the beauty is that you would be able to aggregate how much time you have spent on a task, because you could have more than one allocation. The final plugin is the contextual capture, which you can find here. Contextual capture. The contextual capture is a specific plugin inside the dashboard. So if I open the dashboard here, I can create tasks, I can create notes, etc. But if I open it on something else than routine, let's say my browser, it will detect where I am. As you can see here, it detects that I am on LinkedIn on a page, the title being Drew Houston. So if I were to say, I don't know, call Drew, I could create a task, or I could create a task with the context, let's say for today. If I do this, and I go back to today, you can see that code drew is there with the icon LinkedIn, which allows me to click to go back to the context. So this is great because, again, it allows me to enrich what a task is. But I can actually use this same mechanism for any type. So let me show you what that means. Let's say I'm going to take one of my types, which is candidate. I'm tracking people to hire through this database of candidates. And in it, I have added a context property. Let me remove it and show you. It's this. You can add a context property to a type to signify that you want this candidate type to be able to be enhanced with the context being what is captured through the dashboard. So once I've got this, I can navigate to my database of candidates, and I've got nothing. But now, when I'm here, I could actually say as and specify which type of object I would like to create. Not a task, but maybe something else. Because, sometimes that's what you want. You want to be able to create something quickly, a movie, a project, or maybe a candidate. So if I do this, now I can create a candidate directly, or I can capture a candidate with the context. If I do that, once again, I've got the new object and I've got the context. And if I click on the context, I'm being brought back to the context in question. But this is a great plugin for enhancing your capturing experience, so that not only can you capture anything, not just tasks, but you can also capture and enrich with the context in question, which is even better. So in terms of plugins, it's always hard to judge, which one is better. Both tools don't have browser extensions, probably because they really want to focus on the capturing experience on desktop, which is great as well because it goes faster. Akiflow has more functionalities with more depth around timers, for instance. They both have a menu bar widget, but Routine really shine with the menu bar widget, its timers, but also the enhancement of the context through its dashboard capturing. But it's really, really close. Both are very, very, very close. They have the same approach, which is reassuring, probably shows that it's the right way to go for capturing and unloading your thoughts very quickly. So Akiflow has quite a lot of integrations. If you go to settings or integrations directly, you will see integrations available with Gmail, Outlook, obviously, Slack, Microsoft To Do, Notion. Basically, a lot of tools that allow to bring tasks, which again is really, really powerful for that, because Akiflow's approach is really to aggregate and centralize your tasks. Likewise, for the calendars, which you can see here, you have connections with Google Calendar and Microsoft Outlook. So strong around calendars and very strong around tasks as well. Routine has a number of integrations. You can go to settings and then integrations to see them. Some of those integrations are specific to calendars, others to tasks, others to contacts, and finally, most of the other integrations are integrating bidirectionally the data from other services. So it allows to maintain synchronicity between data from other systems into Routine in order to build workflows, including with AI, inside Routine. So all in all, I think Akiflow has more integrations and is better connected with your task and calendars, which is the primary purpose of Akiflow. Routine, because it is more flexible in its use cases, has probably as many integrations as Akiflow, but it is more kind of dispersed. It covers a little bit of contacts, a little bit of calendar, a little bit of tasks, but it is not as strong as Akiflow for tasks and calendars. Akiflow has been integrating AI into the product fairly recently, probably for the past year or so. And it features a number of AI capabilities. On one side, you have an assistant here, which you can chat with and ask to do things. Then you've got the meeting assistant, which allows to transcribe your meetings, but it is not available to kind of new users. You have to pay. And then you have also, I think, something that is quite interesting is the ability to use the voice command to operate the Aki, which is the AI in Akiflow. So you can use this to say, I don't know, like move my upcoming project sync meeting to tomorrow at the same time. Something like this should allow Aki to actually move the meeting I've got just here to the same time. As you can see, it has done it. This is great for managing a meeting. You can do the same with your task, like create or remind me tomorrow to call the lawyer. In theory, I should have a new task for tomorrow. That's it. So you can see the ability to capture information. So great, in particular, I think, on mobile with voice, which is one of the aspects also of Akiflow, to go always faster and basically extend the capabilities of capturing information, but also, as you can see, delegate work. Routine comes with AI integrated, which has been built on top of its context graph, which is all of the information in routine which are interconnected to give meaning to the different pieces. And because routine manages more than just tasks in calendars, but also notes, contacts, projects, customers, habits, whatever you want, including in your different organizations, the possibilities are endless. Really, what's going to play a big role in routines development is integrations, because the more integrations are added, the more capabilities routine has for automating parts of your life. As you can see, for instance, I've connected Gmail, which is going to give the ability to routine to send and read your emails, which is going to be helpful for many things. So among the possibilities, we've got meeting recordings. As you can see, for every meeting you can record, automatically it's going to be summarized. You can also just write down a few things during the meeting to be added to the summary, which is helpful if you think about something which has not been discussed. You can still write it down, it's going to be summarized. But you can also use that in any organization through the / meeting notes command. If I do this, it will record and save the notes there in the object in question, the page there, even though it's not related to a calendar, which is great if you want to record something and share it with your team, because remember, all of those calendars are basically personal. So you cannot really easily share that information except, by exporting this or a read-only share. Then we've got the assistant, which is a general assistant for routine, which is great for doing anything you can in routine. And finally, we've got agents and automations, which are present in every organization. So if I take that one, for instance, I can go to agents, and then I will have a bunch of agents that I can basically add to my workforce. Those agents are specialized in one task, and if you open them, you can see that you can chat with them again. You can actually even pin the agent here to your menu. But you can also, in addition to chatting, you can also create automations, which allows to react to things happening in routine, like whenever a meeting is created, for instance, or even do things on a regular basis. Like every Monday, I don't know, like prepare my meetings, or every Monday look and in my database of clients and try to find new ones, or whatever comes to mind. So to give you an example, the assistant could be used for things as crazy as, I'm sick, please reschedule all my meetings for today and notify the participants. Reschedule all meetings of today to tomorrow and notify the participant using Gmail, offering them to use my Calendly link. So if I do something like this, in theory, the AI agent should be smart enough to understand what to do. The beauty is that because you can reference pages, you could very much put preferences. You could put those kind of information like using Gmail or using your Calendly link inside a page and referencing the page in the configuration so that you don't have to repeat yourself. You just tell the agent or the assistant how you like your meetings to be handled, and automatically the AI will remember that, so that you just have one page to update, to basically update all your preferences, and automatically the AI will adapt, which is really super powerful. So if you go to settings now, to the calendar, I had meetings today too. They have been moved both here. You can see I still need to accept to go to them, but the idea is the same, is that they have been moved. Now, if I go to my meetings, my emails, you can see that the emails, I've received emails to indicate that things have been moved, which is exactly what you wanted. And then I receive a specific email to say I can't make it. And so that's it. So there are still a few things that are not great in the email, but the point is that in general it just works, which is I'm sick and need to reschedule a meeting for tomorrow. Move them to blah blah blah. If it's helpful here, make it sure. So that's a really good start, and you can tweak this to really behave the way you want. Even though at first it looks like Akiflow and Routine are pretty similar in terms of AI capabilities, from voice command, which is also present on mobile, which I didn't cover. Akiflow, again, because of its positioning, is limited to your task and your meetings. So if you asked it to reschedule your meetings and send an email to the participants, that will not be possible because sending emails is already out of the scope. Routine, on the other hand, has really unlimited capabilities. It really is limited by the number of integrations, and from that point, it can do whatever you want, including, retrieving information from the web and organizing that information in databases, because Routine has databases to store data. So really, many workflows can be built on top of it. When it comes to the look and feel of both apps, both have different approaches, so it's really not debatable, because it's really a question of preferences. Both tools have menu bars, keyboard shortcuts, so it's fairly similar. You can right-click any aspect of the tool. Routine is more customizable through the menu, which you can really define as you prefer. Also, in other aspects, as we already covered, I'd say that in terms of design, Akiflow is probably more opinionated and not flashy, but the colors are quite strong, which Routine always decided to have something a bit more nuanced and discreet, so that you're not basically bombarded with many things jumping to your face. So it's usually more pastel, white, etc. But again, it's really a question of preferences, obviously unbiased, and the feedback has been usually very strongly in favor of Routine for its beautiful design. But again, it's for you to decide. When it comes to the platforms, both tools are basically everywhere or on the major platforms. If you look at Akiflow, you have macOS, Windows, iOS, and Android, and you can use the web version to access on browser, tablets, etc. One thing missing is Linux, which is really a bit of a corner case. And Routine has something fairly similar, which is macOS, Windows does have Linux, web as well, iOS and Android. So both are missing things like tablets or watches. But I'm sure both products will be developing those platforms very soon. So to summarize, and it's always complicated. Again, there is a huge notion of what's good for you. But to try to be as objective as possible, capturing and task, both tools are fairly similar. Calendars, Akiflow wins. It has more functionalities around time management, and it has a connection with Outlook, which Routine doesn't have yet. Integrations as well, which goes with the calendar and Outlook. Akiflow is better integrated with sources of task and sources of calendar events. For notes, themes, plugins, and extensibility, Routine shines because it has been designed for that. Likewise, for AI, Routine has way more possibilities because of its positioning of having access to different kind of information. And for the look and feel, it's very personal. But again, Routine has been praised for its beautiful app. Hope you liked this video. Don't hesitate to subscribe and leave a comment. We will be doing more of those videos to really dig deep into existing products. This is valuable to really understand the philosophy of every tool and how it is actually used in practice. So see you soon.